we've got WhatsApp in the news again. By the way, I still haven't accepted the WhatsApp privacy policy. Have you, E?
I think I did because my mom's on WhatsApp, and my mom. So it's a long story, but I just had to because she's on there.
Okay, but here's the thing. I'm still on there. I'm still using it as fine. I just keep ignoring the notification whenever it comes up. So it's still letting me carrying on using WhatsApp as normal. It's just that I haven't accepted it. But anyway, on the topic of privacy, WhatsApp has gone to court over India's privacy rules. Okay, so WhatsApp is suing the Indian government over new digital rules that will force the messaging service to violate privacy protections. It said rules that require tracing the origin of chats were the equivalent of keeping a fingerprint of every single message sent on the service, right?
Mm-hmm.
In February, the government introduced new guidelines to regulate content on social media and streaming platforms, and India is WhatsApp's largest market with over 400 million users. Obviously, WhatsApp is hugely popular in India, as lots of other things are. Now, the government's rules for social media have said that messaging platforms would need to make provisions for the identifications of the first originator of information. Okay? Now, the article kind of goes on, and this will also affect platforms like Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp. So it is going to be cross-platform. Obviously, Facebook is not just WhatsApp is just not Facebook; it's also Instagram, right? So it does have a big impact. Now, there's a few things here. So, okay, the end-to-end encryption obviously is very, very important from WhatsApp's point of view, and that's the kind of privacy that you sign up for, right? And this is what the whole situation has been. Now, if they can kind of be able, if they're able to kind of give that information where it's able to track to the originator, now I kind of see where the government's coming from, because if there is a piece of false information or something that's being sent around, they can kind of track it down. But then that kind of goes against the whole privacy issue. So it's a bit of a dilemma, because you kind of see both sides of the argument to a certain extent. And it's just like, okay, what is the solution here?
WhatsApp is correct.
End-to-end encryption.
That end-to-end encryption. Because what that means is the way at least I remember how end-to-end encryption works is that if you're able to locate the first, then you can basically read the whole message and like everything that goes on with that conversation, because you're looking at the originator and you can map down. So it not only means that, and I get the idea from the government is like, okay, there's false information, even if you say there's a terrorist group, whatever the group it is, right? You say there's a false information there, but doesn't mean that person made the false information knowingly. It might be, have seen
Copy and
something
paste.
and shared it. Yeah, right? And then are you going to now persecute everybody else who was on that chat as well? You have all those people's info. That's where that problem lies. And again, what about how does this affect chats outside India that comes into India? Just because it's something that has affected India, right? But the message originated somewhere else, like I don't know, Armenia or something. Is Indian government going to say, well, because it's affecting us, we have to go out there through?
So I totally agree with you here, right? Because, so part of me kind of sees the side where it's just like, okay, if there is something that's happening which you need to track down, because let's be honest, right now, even online, you get some death threats, you get all of this stuff that you get. And you're like, okay, you would not say this to me in my face. And this is the thing with a lot of these trolls, keyboard warriors, they will say lots of illegal and hurtful things, and like giving you lots of crazy threats, and have no comeback, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So being able to have that control, but then it's like, okay, who are you giving that power to? Because let's be completely real here, you can't trust all governments. They may misuse that information. For example, we've had the perfect example recently. I don't want to get too controversial, but the Indian government actually requested the removal of a bunch of tweets which were around the whole pandemic situation that's in India, which were criticizing the government, right? So they actually got Twitter to kind of take these down, right? And Twitter kind of doesn't have a choice. They have to take those down, because if they don't take them down, then India might just put a block on the whole app, which means it's a huge loss for everybody, right?
Exactly. See, that already tells me no.
Yeah.
Because even if you look at it this way, right? When we had Trump as president, Trump didn't like certain tweets and he wanted to take it down, but the government never did. I'm not saying the U.S. government is good or bad. I'm just saying that at least the government didn't take any participation fully in saying, "Hey, our president doesn't like these tweets. Take it down." I mean, there's so many tweets about even Vladimir Putin, and he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It's like when it comes down to this, it's just like, yeah, sure, but then who has that power? Because if you have that power, it also opens it up for misuse, right? So I mean, I'm also going to take the side of WhatsApp here, because it's just like it is all about end-to-end encryption, and giving that power will mean 100% that it is going to be misused, right? And if that is the case, then it's best to keep it encrypted as it is. But let's see how it all pans out, because again, I keep emphasizing this, but India is such a huge market, and you just can't ignore it, right? And you saw the impact that TikTok had when India banned the app, right? It was the largest growing app or location for that app, right? And then it just gets cut. And there you go. And it's a huge market. And then, as we saw in the article, 400 million users, which is the largest user base of WhatsApp, is in India. So, if it was a case where that would have to be cut off, that would have a huge impact. So there's a lot there. So let's see how that pans out. We'll be keeping up to date with that, and we'll be keeping you guys up to date with it as well. I hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to hear the full podcast episode, then that will be linked down below. And if you want to see more clips like this, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss them. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf Speaks, and I'll see you next time.